What would you do if you found out that the child that you've raised since a baby wasn't yours?
You are not the father.
And hello! Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? Welcome to T and J Take Over the World, taking over your world one episode at a time.
Hey, that's my line. One episode at a time.
What's wrong with that retaking it?
Well, I don't know.
It's
Fight
my,
for
it's
it.
my show.
It's
my show.
C.
I can never do it.
Rock, paper, stone. Whatever. Let's call the whole thing off. We are T.
And J.
We're a husband and wife duo from London, and we love all things movies, all things relationship, all things opinion and chat. And guess what? We threw them all together, mumbled them all together. I had the mumbles then, mumbled them all together, and packaged this podcast for you, T and J Take Over the World, where we love to talk about things relationship through the lens of popular culture, and we're very opinionated too. So it's almost like a remix of all those different things. Enough jibber jabbering. Enough you jib jabber. Shut up, fool. Shut up, Balboa. Anyway, Balboa aside. See, I love movies. What are we doing today?
Wow. Does love prevail? Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan celebrate 35 years of marriage through sickness and in health. They've gone through so much.
Especially with Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's disease, which has been a massive mountain for them to climb, but they've stuck it through. And I guess our question is, will modern couples who do get married, will they stick it through sickness and health, or will they bail at the first sign of trouble? Love Island again. Where would we be without Love Island? Wherefore art thou, Love Island? Well, this is the one where they all get pied off. Yes, it's the return of the pie game. They call it a harmless game, but I think there's some hurt bruises, some bruised egos and faces after this. It's snog, marry, and pie. You know, like snog, marry, and where someone gets a pie in the face and it causes trouble and rifts. And we look into whether this is a trigger for mental health and whether they should scrap that whole part of the show.
Well, also, last we got coming up is Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell celebrate 40 years. Yes, 40 years of being together. Well, Goldie Hawn has come out a couple of times now saying there's no need for marriage. Nah, it's not for her. So we're going to be talking about that a bit later.
We don't do marriage. We're big Hollywood superstars. We just shack up. We don't do marriage. It's worked for 40 years.
Well, she's been married for twice before. So.
Well, more of that. After the show. More of that and more later. Without further ado, this is something that is a new segment of the show. King for a Day. Yes, King for a Day.
Where's your crown?
Where's my crown? Oh, yeah.
You need to put that on.
I'm the king for a day. So, remember in Family Guy?
Yes.
I've nicked this from Family Guy, like a lot of things. Peter Griffin had his own talk show.
You know what really grinds
and he was like,
my
you want to
gears?
grind? And he called it Grind My Gears.
Did he?
You know what grinds
what?
my gears? Look at the camera. You know what grinds my gears? And my Peter Griffin trying to do a presentation. So, Peter Griffin got upset about a few things.
Oh, yeah.
So he had a little show where he just vent about things he was upset about.
I
You
don't
know?
think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
And it was called Grind My Gears. Yeah. So essentially, it was him getting things off of his chest. So I thought a little spin on that would be King for a Day. So if I was king for the day, this would wagwan. This is what would happen. This is what I would do. So every now and again, I'll put on this crown and I'll declare, forget King Charles, Charlie boy.
Oh, no.
This is King T. King T's decree. So we're talking about Hollywood. Hence why I've got the Los Angeles top on and you got a Santa Monica one. Hollywood, sort it out. I'll say it again. Hollywood, sort it out. Stop messing about, being lazy with lazy remixes, lazy reboots, turning some of our classic characters, like Indiana Jones. He should be on his pension, retired by now, but you've got him working, running all about town, all over the world, when he should be having his feet up with a hot cocoa.
Bad feeling about this.
You know, you're bringing old franchises back and you're messing up the characters because they're not the characters we remember, calling Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. You run out of ideas. Disney is dropping off, messing up left, right, and centre, losing money. Bob Iger's had to return, booted up Bob Chapek.
Nightmare.
This is all sort of movie buzz industry stuff. And he's like saying, too many Star Wars projects. Yeah, duh. Too many Marvel projects. Getting the scissors, cutting the fat. And now there's a major strike in Hollywood
Oh, no.
because of AI. It's come full circle. I'm after the movie business. I'll be back. It's like Skynet.
Wow.
It's real,
AI.
but it's taking over Hollywood.
I thought that AI was supposed to be something that's helping people, not literally trying
if
to
you're getting
take
paid.
over.
Depends if you're getting paid or not.
Oh yeah, I did actually speak to someone the other day,
Yeah.
actually yesterday, and they were telling me that about AI.
IA.
No, they were saying how they're talking about the same thing as
Yeah.
you, saying how AI is just trying to take over everything,
Yeah.
and it's like it's getting out of control. So that
Out of
needs to stop. It needs to
control?
stop.
Everyone's losing their minds. So
Oh,
soon there'll be a knock on the door, and you'll be Arnie coming and saying,
Oh,
"Come to, take over your TV subscription or something."
Oh,
like that.
no.
I don't make up as go along. But here's the problem, yeah? Hollywood they've got a writer's strike, which is a big deal
Yeah.
right now. The big writer's strike. And now they've added another strike. So with a writer's strike, that means no one can write and no screenwriter can write a Hollywood movie. So some of those movies you've been looking forward to, you know how big studios like Marvel and Lucasfilm like to announce movies 10 years in advance? You're going to have to be patient. Whoa there. Because those films aren't even written yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And they can't be written legally until the strike's over. So there's going to be a lot of people fiddling their thumbs in Hollywood until they get the deal worked out.
Oh,
So
no.
that was the WGA, the writer's strike. Yeah. Secondly, with the AI, artificial intelligence, Skynet and all that stuff, the Matrix, choose a red pill. Now, actors are a bit upset because, well, actually, extras. Like you
Oh,
did
yeah,
extra.
yeah.
You were an extra on Mission Impossible, weren't it?
I'm ready to play one.
Your best mates with Spielberg and Tom Cruise, isn't it?
Yeah. What about extras?
Best
then?
mates.
What's
So-
happening with extras?
Best mates with Spielberg. And
Yeah,
Tom
oh,
Cruise.
yeah. Imagine I get to meet them and you didn't.
I know. And I'm the actor. And she gets to schmooze with Spielberg and Tom Cruise. What's going on? And that rhymed. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. So what happens is extras, and I was in Star Wars, by the way. So
All right, you had to get that in there.
I was in The Force Awakens, the most anticipated movie in the last 20 years. So just dropping that in there. As you do. So with extras now, when you're a support artist in a movie, you get brought back time again. Hopefully you get a whole series of bookings for a film. You can
Yeah.
be on a movie for months.
Yep.
Yeah, you've experienced that.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. Ka-ching! Big
Get some
money.
in.
Great. Not bad for just hanging around most of the time in the trailer or, with food crafts. But now with AI, they can replicate your face. Wow. Yeah?
No.
You do the wow again.
They're really going to go there.
Listen, actually, they've got every
Whoa.
angle of my body somewhere in Disney Lucasfilm when I was on The Force Awakens. Because you stand on this thing and you spin around and it 3D camera does every single part of you, and probably every single part of you, recorded. That sounds bad. Will they edit this out? It's live. Oh no.
Can't edit it out.
Every part of you. But now what they'll do is that rather than call you back for another
Yeah.
booking,
Yeah.
they may just cut and paste your image, your performance. Yeah.
What?
I know,
So
right?
that means extras are going to be
Yeah.
out of work.
Yeah. One-time job, pay you that small little rate,
Whoa.
and then You know, it's bad, isn't it?
No, that is so
Bad.
bad.
It is bad.
Oh no, this is a bad situation. Now I'm thinking
I would
AI.
go on strike.
AI.
I'm
Not
coming
great.
for you, AI. AI.
I thought I was literally talking to someone about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought AI was supposed to like
Your friend.
help people.
Yeah.
I thought AI was supposed to help people, not take away people's jobs.
You thought AI was supposed to help people
Well, I know it was
and not take over the
I know
planet
it's
and
gonna-
subject us all.
Yeah, I knew it was
to
going to take
machines.
over, but I didn't realize it was going to go militant like that in terms of like taking
Oh,
extra
mate.
jobs away, and actors' jobs.
Well, yeah. Well, that back to the main storyline. I went on a
Gosh.
tangent.
Wow.
The actors are upset because they will, if for example you signed up to do a role and they paid you for the role,
Yeah.
but then there's a sequel or a spin-off, or say like 20 years down the line they reboot one of the movies you're in, they've got your
no.
face,
Wow.
they've got your likeness. They can just
That is serious.
put in a few entries and AI, they can reproduce
Oh.
your face, deep fake.
It can reproduce your voice.
Wow.
James L. Jones didn't come back to do
Yeah,
Darth
'cause like
Vader
AI.
for Obi-Wan. His ass is old. And I
Wow.
absolutely respect James L. Jones. They created that in AI. The same with making Luke Skywalker sound young. So in
Wow.
honesty, I think actors have got a right to be a bit scared because now
Yeah.
their whole performances can be replaced.
No way. So if
Mad,
you
isn't it?
wanted to go back to acting
Yeah.
sometime soon,
Yeah.
you ain't got no chance then. Because
Huh?
they might have your voice somewhere or
I don't think I'm that big, Jay, that they've got
No,
like
I said like future if you wanted to go back into that
Yeah.
industry.
yeah.
Because you're a very talented actor here. So
Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. I don't know. I think it's definitely, I can understand why they're upset because it's pretty big. It's a pretty big deal
Serious.
because money makes the
Oh.
world go round.
Yeah.
Because if they've paid you once, they're thinking, well, we've got you, your
gosh.
rights, we've got your appearance, your likenesses. So now contracts will have to be drawn because they're thinking, like, why should you have the ability to reproduce a performance from me, or even if it's just standing in the background somewhere in a movie or referencing it, and I don't get paid?
Oh my gosh.
Show me the money.
Wow. So what is this going to
Tom Cruise,
do
yeah.
for like, because I read somewhere, it popped up on my phone. It said it could affect the Oscars and the Grammys. The Oscar, yeah,
Really?
definitely. Yeah, it said it could have a knock-on effect with,
Oh, wow.
with the award shows. Because that's not good. AI need to get shut down.
Hey,
Shut it down right
calling
now.
Sarah Connor.
It's serious.
Calling Sarah Connor.
It's actually
Come in,
really
Sarah Connor.
serious situation. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was so bad like that.
Well, yeah, it is.
Whoa.
It is. But, you know, maybe
Gosh.
we might end the love affair that we're having currently with AI because everything is AI.
Yeah.
AI for breakfast, AI for lunch, AI for dinner. Hey, AI. Probably
Oh,
romancing AI. In
gosh.
fact, I did see a show once
Yeah.
where
What do you see?
a guy was dating his AI.
No
He
way.
had a rubber doll and he had the AI interface. It would speak to him, he'd speak to it, and he'd say to the camera crew and the presenter, right, you leave the room now, it's getting jiggy time.
Oh, no.
That is a true story.
Oh, I think you told me about that. I didn't watch it though. That is weird.
Oh, my
That is
head.
really messed up.
Oh, my head. Heavy is this crown.
Whoa.
I'm going to remove this crown now. And I'll leave with this. Hollywood, let me go to the main camera. Hollywood, sort it out. And that is my king for a day rant. You've been given notice. Get your strike over, pay your people, get some original movies out. I know that's asking for a bit much, but, you know, a boy can dream. And then hopefully, I shall return to the movies. Maybe when a new Avengers film comes out, if they change the writers from
they need to
the
sort
Rick and
that
Morty
out.
guys that have been really doing a bad job so far with the older Ant-Man and the
Oh, no.
and the
It's not
Wasp,
going down too well at the moment, is it?
Quantumania.
My
Anyway,
gosh.
all of that aside, I think what should people do, Jay, to
Well,
engage with us, to make us feel loved?
we
This
would
is a
lo-
love podcast after all. How do I make us feel loved?
We would love if you'd like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, because then we can have a with you. We love comments or good comments. And it doesn't matter if you leave bad ones, then we'll just, whatever. But we would just
I'll come for you.
No, you won't.
You give me a bad comment,
won't
I'll hunt you down. I have a special set of skills.
He won't come for you. He won't come for you. But it would just make our day if we see loads of comments on our page, and then it can just fill up our YouTube with great stuff.
Well, no, that's not why I want people to leave comments. That's the real reason. Not about you, it's about us. No, we want to have conversations because the reason we do all this is we want to talk about things we really care about. We want to talk about relationships. A lot of millennials are not really hitting it with relationships. Relationships are falling down left, right, and center. We've been married almost 20 years. I know we look like 19. We're 20.
We only just turned 19 years. We're not almost 20 years.
Well, that's 1 year.
Yeah, but we're 20 years in June next year. We've still got quite a few months to go before it's 20 years. It's true. We only just turned 19 years, June 19th. Yeah, 19 in June 19th. June 19th.
All right.
So it's not nearly 20 years.
All right. Round it off for the nearest
year. We've still got to go
year.
Through the rest of the year.
But we've been married a long time.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of wisdom to share and some experiences, our big wins and our epic crap the bed fails. Not all of them, mine, because that might be embarrassing, but we will share the journey we've had, as well as topics that are coming on the news and in the culture regarding relationships. Like a news hound, we'll smell them out and we will talk about them. So, subscribe, comment, and like. Moving on to our first story.
So, we are going to talk about, can true love prevail over anything? And that's Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan celebrating 35 years.
35 years.
Wow. That is a long time.
Long time.
That puts like as our 19 years, like, it's only 19
it's nothing.
years.
It's only 19 years. Next almost an extra 14 years.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there somehow.
We'll get there.
But yeah, despite it all, in sickness and in health, they are still going through thick and thin. And I'm sure that they have been through so much over the years, as all married couples do, because marriage isn't easy. It's hard work, and you have to work as a team, don't you? You have to just work together, determination, motivation, and just keep it going. And for them, they said that they've laughed all these years. They've been laughing. Yeah. That's what keeps their marriage together. Unfortunately, some marriages don't last.
We laugh all the time. Laughing. You laugh at me.
I laugh at you. When do I laugh at you?
Or I laugh at you.
You laugh at me? Oh, that's not nice to be laughed at.
If you're
to laugh with me is nice, but not to laugh at them. It's when I used to do the dance, isn't it?
Yeah, you kind of...
You and the children.
Yeah, you kind of mum dance. You had a dad dance, and no one talks about mum dancing. Like,
I'm mum. Well, you notice I don't dance anymore anyway. I stopped it.
No one puts my baby in the corner. Dirty dancing.
But I love Michael J. Fox. I love him. In fact, I've only seen Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. I've never seen him in any other.
I love Michael J. Fox. He's amazing. I've only seen him in one movie.
Yeah, because that movie.
How'd that work out then?
No, because I've just literally never seen him in anything else. It's a bit like Sylvester Stallone. Oh, actually, I have seen Sylvester Stallone in other movies.
Yeah, Rambo and Rocky.
Yeah, Rambo and Rocky.
No other movie for Sly.
Don't be horrible.
Just Rambo and Rocky.
Oh, whatever.
And that's it.
That's not nice. But yeah, I have a love for. I love all the Back to the Future films.
Oh, I have. Yeah, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I think for me, my earliest memories is Back to the Future because we're 80s kids, right? We're so. Doc Brown, Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly, the DeLorean. It means a lot to us. I mean, look. Hello.
Like Professor, right?
Hello. So there's no way we could have seen this story in the news and went past it, considering that we are Michael J. Fox fans. We're the fans of the Foxter and all things 80s. And this is a perfect combination of our love of movies, things 80s, and relationships. It's like a hand in glove. Michael J. Fox and his 35-year anniversary. So that's why I called it Back to the Anniversary. Morty, it's about your anniversary. You didn't get your wife a card. All right, back in the DeLorean. There is no roads to the off license, to 7-Eleven, American friends. So, Michael J. Fox, I think one of the things that really stands out to me, besides the fact that it's an impressive feat, 35 years.
It's a long time, isn't it?
What stands out for me is they obviously took serious the part of the vows, if they said these vows, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
Yeah.
So many couples miss out well, it's not they miss out, but I don't think they mean it if they do say that part. Why? Because people have divorced over far smaller things. I mean, let's make it clear. Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's disease. It's a very debilitating, motor neuron disease. Like it's so tragic. It's sad to see him where he's always looked boyish. He's always looked very young, from the Back to the Future movies. He looked like a teenager back in 85 and he wasn't. And we've grown up with him, watching him. And part of his charm was the boy next door. To see him now in his age and for a number of years having the shakes, because Parkinson's is very violent, aggressive shakes. He can't control his body, the spasms, the shakes, and just being, it's almost taken over him. It's very sad to see. What's really good though is he still does conventions. He'll go to that Back to the Future convention in America, and the fans show him love, and he shows the fans love. And there's a picture I will put up with Jimmy Kimmel, I think, talk show where him and Christopher Lloyd have a reunion. This is just a few years back as Doc and Marty, which is just anytime you see them together, it's just magic. But the question I wonder is how many people would stick by a husband? We know, we watch Love Island and everything is like, you've got good looking people. Anyone can fall in love on a beach, right?
Oh yeah.
Anyone can fall in love when they're good looking.
Absolutely.
The weather is great. Good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens when one of you falls sick? One of you has, heaven forbid, a disease. You've just been, you've got an illness, a sickness. And then or you get in an accident and one of you is paralyzed. Then all of a sudden it's like, roots. Wow. I've made a commitment to this person and it's not the good times that I was expecting 24/7. Couples break over less. What do you think about it?
Yeah. So I think what you were saying, T, is that, it does say in sickness and in health, to death do us part. But it's like, I think even like, for example, the Love Island people, those young people, 20-year-olds, whatever, 20-somethings.
Yeah. Young'uns.
They,
The younglings. The young'uns.
They won't be even thinking far ahead like that. They're just thinking about the here and now. Oh yeah, what you look like. Oh, you look so beautiful. You look so handsome.
Yeah.
You got a lovely body. They're not thinking. In fact,
Well, thank you.
Not you.
I know I've got a lovely body.
Not you.
I work out.
I weren't talking about you. I reckon they'll be the people, the generation that will be like, you know what? You're sick now. I don't think this can carry on. I don't think I can even like have the energy to even look after you right now. You're in a wheelchair, you've had a car accident and now your face is deformed or something. Do you know what I mean? I can imagine.
That's a bit dramatic.
Not
Not just you're ill, your face is deformed. You look like
No, but sometimes that happens in accidents.
the Phantom of the Opera.
Or will have burns on their faces. Or, those sort of things do happen in car accidents. But I reckon that they're the generation that would be like, you know what? Bye. Boy, bye.
Boy, bye.
Because they're all about how things look and how things appear.
Yeah.
For example, they're the generation that will be like, oh yeah, when they get old, ooh, I think you're horrible now. Move on to a younger person. They're like, ooh, how can you be like with someone for so long, even when they get old and grey?
Yeah.
I can't imagine them having long marriages like 35 years.
35 minutes.
That's
would
a long
be
time.
quite an achievement for some of these
Some of
relationships.
their relationships don't even last 2 minutes.
So we can compare marriages, like modern marriages, and the sort of the situation in the populace now to Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan. And I think that's more realistic because the majority of people aren't famous. They're not Hollywood. So all the things that they're doing are relatable. Most people's marriages aren't in the spotlight. They're not showing up at premieres, rocking up, or being on TV or meeting on sets. But what's interesting is that Michael J. Fox's marriage and Tracy Pollan's marriage is really an accomplishment in Hollywood, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they don't stay married too long.
Mm-mm.
They're 35 years is a long time in marriage,
Sure is.
especially with all the hurdles. I mean,
For Hollywood.
how long were your grandparents married again?
About 62 years, I think it was. And that's a long time. But the thing is, that generation of people who are married, they married for long. You know, there was a lot of, back in those days, they wouldn't have left because people used to have like a lot of children. There's no way the man's going to walk away and then the wife is going to be on her own raising like 7, 8 kids.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
because
know
that's
what I
how
mean?
many.
That's how many kids grandma had. So there's no way,
Wow.
what, you're going to leave your wife and looking after all those little children? on
Some
their own?
people would.
That's just wrong.
Not many, but there was.
Like,
Yeah.
and men used to take responsibility more back then as well. So
Mm.
there's no way they have to be provided, because in those days, men would have to be the one that provides. Woman stays at home looking after children. Now we're living in the modern world. It don't go like that.
Modern world. If I want to cut and run,
You know what
no
I
one's
mean?
stopping me.
So I can give the woman the child, but then I can just run if it's not my thing. That's just wrong.
The Flash.
Hit and run. You get it? Hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run. I get it.
Hit
I got
and
it.
run.
I got it. Hit and run. I got it.
Yeah.
So I think in regards to their marriage, it is definitely one that stands out as being a real success.
Yeah.
Because for them to be together a long time and married a long time is an accomplishment. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
But for them to
definitely.
be together a long time and remain married all these years, and one of them has a severe challenge that really affects his entire life
Yeah.
and even his lifespan, he probably will not reach very old age.
I think I read somewhere he's not gonna possibly live till like 80.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unlikely
Yes.
with Parkinson's.
Yeah, it's actually really sad because I have so much memories of him in Back to the Future, and now he just obviously can't help himself much, and his wife has to do so
Yeah.
much for him. It's so sad.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
But he is a legend, Michael J. Fox. And I
Yeah.
think what he's done to raise awareness of Parkinson's is exemplary. The example he's been in Hollywood of perseverance and faithfulness, him and his wife, is a massive contribution to good. And I think he's a great example. And I think
Yes.
I'd ride in the DeLorean any day with Michael J. Fox. And we'll go into, into different timelines and multiverses and all that.
So which timeline would you go in?
I think I've just trivialized that, haven't I?
Where would you
I've
go?
made that deep comment and turned it all silly. Where would I go? In a
Yeah.
DeLorean?
Yeah, where would you go?
Where would I go in the
No, what I
DeLorean?
mean, what year? What would you go back in? Where would you go?
Where would I go?
To the 80s?
I would go to 1981 and see you be
wow.
born.
Oh,
And be like,
that'd be
I would go,
interesting.
You're gonna be my future wife. you
My
know?
£5 self.
You're gonna be my future wife. Well, that's a little bit. You see, the Back to the Future thing, isn't it? Because Marty went back
That's interesting, isn't it?
and met his mum
Wow.
before she had any of his kids.
Wow.
Actually, before him and
Yeah.
his siblings were even conceived, before they were even married. So I'm sure I can go back in time
Yeah.
and visit Joe and go, hello, Joe. You're going to be a wife in 20-something years' time. Weird. That just took a
I know,
weird
I
turn.
would go
didn't
back.
it?
I'd go to 79.
Took a weird
God,
turn.
79. Wow.
So what happened in 79, Joe?
You were born.
I was not.
79.
I was born in 85.
No, you
I'll
were.
tell you. I wasn't born in 79. Don't age me,
Everyone's
woman.
going to work out your age now.
I'm a toy boy.
Oh.
She likes them young. I'm a toy boy.
Oh.
I'm a
You
toy
went
boy.
there. Wow.
Toy boy.
Who said that? Who told me to toy boys?
boy.
No.
Toy boy. You like toy boys. You're a
When?
younger man.
When? What was that?
We'll discuss it later.
No, okay.
We're doing the show. We're doing the show, Jay. Not time to bring up your past.
Oh, no. That's
Only
so sad.
jesting. See how she's gone blush though. She's blushed.
Oh.
Toy boy collection.
Oi.
Toy boy. Anyway, so Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan,
Oh.
huge congratulations to you both. And yeah, we wish you all the very best on your anniversary. So, what are we talking about next, Jay?
Oh, Love Island again.
Love Island?
I can't actually do that.
We're
thing,
talking
too.
about Love Island? What's that?
Well, if any of you lot don't know, if anyone who's watching does not know what Love Island is, then wow, I am shocked because I think most people would know what Love Island is right now.
Yeah, you think.
Because that would be weird. If you don't know about Love Island, I'm in complete unbelief there.
But let's assume you watching
Yeah.
know about Love Island, so we don't have to explain a whole reality show. It's been on like 10 years or so. But what we're specifically interested in, but we know by the time you're watching this is not a new story. But I think it does ring true to an issue that I think is a little bit problematic. Would you agree?
I think so because, well, actually, to be honest, the pie, the love, yes,
Snog, marry, pie.
yeah. I was reading this article and I was thinking, it ain't that deep. It really ain't that deep, really.
Really?
No, from my perspective, it ain't.
All right.
If I was on Love Island, which obviously I'll never be on Love Island, but if I was on Love Island and that happens to be pied and stuff and all the other things, I don't think I would take it that seriously because it's a game.
Well, let's look at it, shall we?
It's a game.
Let's look at
Yeah.
what the issue is. So you've got, I can hardly see it. So important, I can't even see it. So here we go. We're going to look at the Love Island issue here. The slide. So let me see the Love Island spoiler. Snog, marry, pie returns as one boy shares a kiss with former flame after controversial game sparked toxic femininity row and Ofcom complaints last year. So, Snog, Marry, Pie is set to return to Love Island Villa this week, despite the controversial game sparking a toxic femininity row and Ofcom complaints in the past. In scenes set to air on Monday, already watched it, yet more drama is set to rock the sunny island of Menorca when one boy shares a kiss with his former flame. Dun dun dun! Whitney receives a text which reads, "Islanders, it's time to lay your feelings on the line in today's challenge. Snog, marry, pie." It goes on.
Oh.
Here you go. Picture of a pie in someone's face. That's a new guy pieing Jess because he liked her. He laid his cards on the table. They could have had a good thing going, but she went back to Sammy.
Oh no, that's Sammy, eh?
Sammy!
Going back to that smiley.
I like it, Jess.
See Sammy.
Let's make a go of it, Jess. Let's make a go of it, Jess. This is the real thing, Jess. So, one boy's decision to snog an ex leaves his partner doubting their connection. Can the pair move past this bump in the road and get back on track? In the first look, Mitchell is seen still deciding who he has more of a connection with between Ella B and Abby. Speaking to Abby, he seemingly confirms that he can see things working out on the outside. You know, they always say that. With her and no one else compared. Yet in another U-turn, Mitch, he later goes in for a snog with current partner Ella B during the challenge after a heartfelt speech about their connection. The game has been marred with controversy in the past, with fans slamming the girls for bullying Casey O'Gorman when he was repeatedly targeted during the last series. In the series, which aired in February, the recruitment consultant had 4 cream pies smashed into his face after many of the female Islanders were left unimpressed by his treatment of former partner Claudia. It goes on a little bit more than that, but I think you get the gist.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I literally don't think it's that deep because, to be honest, a lot of Love Island, the producers dictate everything anyway. When you understand producers, they want things like that to go. They bring on people. They bring people to Love Island for a reaction, to the viewers to go to Ofcom and say, to complain all the time.
And they go,
Oh, yeah. So I don't think it's really that deep. And at the end of the day, it's like if it was just like none of that, if they took that whole game out,
Yeah.
as they were saying, oh, they should take that game out because it caused controversy last time. It would be so boring because the producers want people to fall out. They want people to speak to certain people and get a reaction. They want controversy in there all the time because otherwise it would be simply boring and no one will watch it. So to people to keep going to Ofcom and complain about, and I don't think it's that deep anyway. Mental health issues. I guess as well, if someone's coming in there who's an ex or something, they did that. Producers do that. They've brought in, even now, they've brought in people that people already know in there to cause a reaction, to get people piped up. They tell them what to say.
Yeah.
But people don't understand how producers work behind the scenes. A lot of things go behind the scenes. It's not like the Love Island, the guys. They just, it's not authentic.
No.
It's not authentic at all. When I was reading the story, I was like, yeah, it isn't even authentic. It's like they control everything. The producers tell them what to say. So it's not, even how Maya Jama comes in and walks, it's a reaction. How Rita Ora was on stage over there, everything's slow mode, and it's all production heavy. So when people complain and going Ofcom, do they not realize how this show works?
Yeah, have they like never actually seen?
You know
Love
what I
Island
mean?
before?
It's like it's not that. That's why I'm saying the Snog Pie Marry, the Snog Pie Marry,
Snug Pie Mary.
Snog Marry Pie. It's not that deep at the end of the day. So unfortunately, people are gonna suffer with mental health because of
Well,
that
this is
reaction.
where I am going to.
Yeah.
Bear with me a moment. I'm going to disagree with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going to disagree with me on that.
I'm
one.
going to disagree.
Right.
With you.
Okay. So
and I'll
what's
tell
your
you why.
thoughts? Yeah. Go on.
Because at the end of the day, Mitch, for all these Mitching,
all these Mitching,
Mitch will Mitch.
Mitching.
For all Mitch's Mitching,
yeah.
For people to kind of see you as public enemy number one, and literally in this case, like chuck a pie, smash a pie in your face, is a little bit extreme. So just to make it clear, even though it's got the veneer of a game, you're mucking about, chucking a pie. So one person you snog who you want to really, really kiss. Another person, you go down on one knee and you put a ring on their finger. Who you want to marry. And then the person you pie is someone that you feel has not behaved very well. Yeah. Has messed with people's feelings, has pied people off, that kind of thing. So whoever's receiving the most pies, as much as it might be seen as a bit of a laugh, if you've got like the majority of the pies like Mitch has had, that's going to affect you mentally because you're thinking, no one's really rating you. Everyone thinks you're moving in a bad way, which, let's face it, Mitch has been moving mad, so it's not exactly unwarranted. But for us, it's a television show. We're watching it, but they're in the moment. They're in the reality of it. And I think some of it weren't nice. That said, he acted despicable, Mitch, when he put a pie in Abby's face. So Mitch is mixed up with two different women. He was with Abby first. He told her all sweet nothings, that you're the one that would work on the outside. Then a bombshell, another girl came in last minute called Ella, who he was giving, that they were talking, but she got to pick who she wanted to be loved up with, partnered up with, and she chose Mitch. So Mitch is like, why'd that happen? It's not my fault that she's chosen me.
Oh, Mitch.
Okay. Oh, Mitch. But at the same time, he's pretending to keep things sweet with Abby. He's also talking to Ella and saying sweet nothings in her ear. So it's all mixed signals, very messy, to the point where other islanders are calling him, wait for it, Messy Mitch. Ding, trademark. So he has deservedly got on a lot of those pies. However, he put a pie in Abigail's face, and he went really in hard, and she was humiliated and she was hurt. And that was first because the guys did the pieing first. So I actually genuinely think a lot of the pies that Mitch got was the sisters' solidarity, saying, you know what, you're not going to pie off, you're not going to pie off our sister, our girl, and treat her like that. We're coming for you. We've got her back.
Coming for you.
So he has to understand that you don't mistreat people and be so cavalier about it and not expect some retaliation, some pushback. What do you think? Am I reading it wrong, or?
Yeah, my question is though, if it's that bad and it caused such a problem last time on Love Island, so why did they bring it back then? Why would they bring something back if it's causing people so much harm?
Why do they, why do they show hunting? Why do they show bare knuckle fights and people getting their face caved in? Because there's a part of human nature that likes to see people suffer, right? I think last season we watched and Casey getting the pies, I thought that was out of order because it was vindictive, because I think all he'd done was decide that he had feelings for somebody else, and he went about it, I think, quite respectfully. But again, with the sisters, man, talk to your sisters, man. The women, them, they seem to take things a bit too far. Or am I wrong? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the sisters, I mean, I don't know. They're obviously sisters sticking. That's what sisters do. Sisters always stick around for each other, don't they? They've got each other's backs. They're not gonna put each other under the bus. You notice on Love Island, they always stick up for each other.
Even when
it's actually wrong, because they don't, and that's how women are actually. Women tend to do that. Us women tend to just sort of stick to each other, and they don't really throw each other under the bus, to be honest.
I respect the not throwing under the bus thing.
That's my girl.
But at the same time, I think Whitney has done it a few times where she's actually spoken to some of the girls and said, you know what, you need to move differently because you're moving mad. You're not moving in a way that's healthy if you actually want to pursue a relationship here and it's looking bad. So I think Whitney usually will say something, but most of the other women in there, they will endorse something that they do, and then they will demonize one of the guys for doing their thing. But that's what Love Island is. It seems to typically be like that. Where I think the mental health thing is that the real issue, forget Mitch and a couple of pies too far, what's happened is in the game, the guy in question that kissed an ex in the show was Zach, our resident black guy.
Oh no.
Zach.
If I didn't see Zach, I would think he's black.
Yeah. Zach is black.
You know what I mean?
Zach is
Till
black.
I saw him, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know
He's
what I
like, yeah. But anyway, Zach and Molly. So Zach, Katie was a bombshell dropped in. And when she came in, she got to get rid of a girl who was a threat, who basically she got to choose the guy that she wanted to be with from first sight. And whoever he was with was yeeted. So that was Molly. So Zach and Molly got together. Zach was kind of making it happen a little bit with Katie, but it wasn't like, the romance of the year. But what happened in a twist is that Molly was brought back into the show in Casa. And it's been bliss ever since.
Bliss?
Until it wasn't.
Bliss? It wasn't bliss.
There was no bliss there. Trouble in Paradise? What's it?
Definitely not bliss, it wasn't.
Trouble in Paradise?
It definitely wasn't bliss, I'm telling
bliss.
you. No.
No bliss. Let's spill some tea.
No.
So, messy.
No.
So, in the game, you snog who you want to snog and you marry who you want to marry. Zach kind of didn't read the instructions of this game very well. He overcomplicated it, overthunk it. So he went straight up to Katie, the woman in question, who got the love of his life kicked out a couple of weeks ago. And he kissed her.
Oh.
And then said he'd marry Molly. Now, I kind of get where he was going. He was saying, you're wife material. I want to spend my life, all of 5 minutes with you after the show ends. So I'm just going to casually snog KD. His reasoning was, which I think is quite sweet, isn't it? Old fashioned, don't you think? That marriage is more important than just a snog.
Yeah, of course. I married myself for 19 years. So yeah, marriage is definitely more important than a snog.
How many years have you been married, Jay? I don't think the person watching knows how many years we've been married. Anyway, Karen.
He's trying to be funny. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, obviously, marriage is more important than just a snog. I don't understand how. To be honest, I think with that Zach thing, I don't think he just meant it intentionally like that. He didn't mean to. I don't think he thought about it, to be honest. He just took action and didn't really think it through. And obviously, Molly's really, really sensitive anyway. Yeah. Because she's really into Zach.
Into him.
Proper into Zach, isn't she? She's really into Zach.
Love Zach.
100%,
Baby,
man.
love Zach.
That's why they brought him back in
love
there.
Zach.
Oh, yeah.
I've missed the trick. You
Love.
had Love Shack. Now you got Love Zach. Love Zach. Baby, love Zach. Love Zach. Yeah, that's where it's at. That's a new one. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, you've made me lose my train of thought now. That's the thing with this guy. He interrupts sometimes.
Sorry.
But yeah, I was just saying, she's really into him, isn't it? She's proper super into him. So obviously that's why she was so sensitive. And now she's kind of upset with him now. Because she's like, well, so where do I stand? You've just kissed a girl that voted me out in the first place. And then you want to marry me, but it's a bit like mixed signals, should I say?
Or so mixed signals.
Yeah, oh no.
Mixed messages. Yeah.
So she doesn't really know where she stands now. She said that, it's so sad though, because at the end she said, I was thinking of letting you meet my parents. But this is Love Island. That's the thing. It's a game.
It's not over yet, though. It's not over yet. They can get it back on track.
I know.
Don't worry.
But also with this, I told you, it's all the producers control everything.
Yeah. So
they tell them probably who to snog, who to pie and stuff, I'm sure.
So you're not saying that the producers are engineering this to ruin couples? You wouldn't be saying that, would you? You're not saying that that producers are messing with the contestants, ruining their chances of love, or are you? You're saying that?
That's what I'm saying.
Do share.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the producers have so much more control than people realize. Yeah, that's what producers do. They produce a show. They want to take over
the world.
Love Island world, not our world. But they are in charge. So not everything. That's what I said. It's not authentic, the whole show anyway. They are there to tell people, who to go and talk to, or who to go and say that to that person.
Well, it is a bit dodgy that some of the strongest couples have both had people from their past come in,
there you go,
to ruffle the feathers. Actually, one couple, Ella and Tyreek.
Absolutely.
Ella
they
had
already met each other.
Uzi, who she was talking to outside before the show.
Come on,
and Tyreek has had Ella B.
Come
so
on,
I was like, come on.
They don't want them to win, do they?
They don't want.
They don't want them to win. They don't want them.
Sorry,
to
Ella
win.
and Ty.
They don't want them to win.
No,
they know already who they want to win.
And who would that be?
I think it's Molly and Zach. That's why they brought Molly back.
Oh, Molly and Zach.
She's got a famous mom, apparently. She's an actress.
Yeah.
So there's maybe the mom knows the producers.
Yeah.
And they had a conversation. Yeah,
I think you're onto
get my
something,
Molly,
Jay.
get my Molly to win the show.
Get my Molly to win.
So they know who they want to win already. And it's certainly not Ella and Tyreek.
Who do you think? We'll talk about who we think win another time, but I think, so for me, that's why I think it's an issue regarding mental health, because the producers are playing with people's feelings for entertainment. Because if it was just, it'd probably be a boring show if it was just the couples getting to know each other, falling in and out of lust, because you can't call it love, really, can you? Lust. But then these games, like what started off as like it seemed to be an innocent game, gets them more paranoid afterwards and gets them in conflict. So I do think it's a little bit Big Brother-esque in that it's messing with, and you could end up messing with what was a relationship that was going well, like Zach and Molly. Even if they might be the preferred favourites to win by the producers.
Zach and Molly.
Molly.
Zach and Molly.
He speaks more street than I do, man. Zach. I'm like,
He speaks more street than
like Colton compared to Zach.
Tyreek. When him and Tyreek is sitting down, he's like,
The
who you
Molly,
thinking? Is
yeah,
he
my
sure?
guy.
The white guy.
I didn't appreciate what you said though. True. So yeah. So I think at the end of the day, let's put a button on a fork in this Love Island topic. It's done. But in conclusion, yeah, it's the Truman Show, isn't it? It's manipulative editors and producers, all about ratings in the show.
Of course.
And we are suckers for spending time watching it.
Exactly. The thing is about it, just before we end this one, we won't be watching it, or any other video would be watching it if it was just so boring.
Nah,
That's why it keeps people watching.
Nah.
It's more interesting.
It was a bit like Gladiators, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
how they used to throw people to lions, and gladiators would have to fight each other to the death. We have to see young 20-something singletons snog each other and ply each other, both literally and mug each other off.
Oh well, they know how it works. They've watched the previous Love Island shows, haven't they?
You'd think that
They know
they're
how it
actors.
works.
Maybe Molly is not the only actor in the villa. Maybe it's a team of actors. Maybe they're all actors. Maybe whole life is a matrix, it's a simulation. It's the AI, it's taken over.
Oh no.
The AI is running the villa and the world.
The AI is a producer, isn't it?
AI producers. It's a metric, so
no.
it's all deep fake. None of the contestants, they're all the old wrinkly crinklies.
Oh no.
They've just
Can you
deep
imagine?
fake their faces.
Oh no.
We're getting a little bit weird.
Oh,
now.
going to a tangent
So,
now.
Save me, Jay.
Talking
Talking about nonsense.
Okay, our
Please.
next subject is marriage that big of a deal?
Ooh.
Oh, well, we have Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, who infamously, well, they've been together for 40 years, but Goldie Hawn has spoken out several times saying she's actually not interested in being married.
Not interested in being
No.
married?
No
Why is she not
interest
interested
at
in
all.
marriage, Jay?
Because she feels that she doesn't need to be married in order to have a good relationship. She just focuses on making sure her relationship stays stable. It's, they have a healthy relationship and they're able to, they don't need to be married in order to be together, and it's worked for them. She's been married twice before. So
Before
I
we
guess,
get that, it might be helpful to let people know who.
Oh,
the
right,
ex Goldie Hawn and
yeah.
Kurt Russell is.
Well, Goldie Hawn is a famous actress.
Yeah, famous Hollywood actress Goldie Hawn.
And I've actually literally never watched any of her
Never watched
movies.
the movie.
No,
She's
I've never
so
watched
much
any of
for
her movies.
entertainment and culture and pop culture and all that. Never
No,
seen a
but
Goldie Hawn movie.
They're oldies. Right.
Goldie who?
Goldie
Do you know
Hawn.
who she was 5 minutes ago?
Oh.
So, but Kurt Russell, I know. Is it private? Say, there was Goldie Hawn's been in a lot of movies. Look her up. Filmography, IMDb. She is she's the mother of Kate Hudson.
Yes, I know Kate Hudson. Yeah.
You know,
Watched
Next
her
Generation,
movies.
famous actress. But Kurt Russell's my guy. You know, one of the film's classic movies of the 80s is Big Trouble in Little China. So that's a movie that I really dug growing up. It's a weird mix of sort of martial arts, comedy, a bit of fantasy, and he's the lead of that. The other movie that really stands out, and this is a sort of horror-esque sci-fi, the famous John Carpenter's The Thing. He's a lead in that movie. And of course, recently-ish, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where he
Kurt
played
Russell.
Star-Lord's dad.
Oh.
Yeah. Now the penny's dropping.
Yeah.
So-
I remember now.
He's a veteran Hollywood actor. And they are a golden couple, a little bit like the Michael J. Fox and Tracy Collins story. This couple have been together even longer, haven't they?
Woo.
As you said,
40
decades.
years.
40
40 years, baby. 40
Now,
years.
he's not Kate Hudson's dad. She had a famous father that used to be in a singing group with his brothers. But he's as good as her dad, and she considers Kurt Russell.
Oh
to be
yeah,
her dad.
he even walked her down the aisle
Yeah.
when she got married. So she's Kate Hudson married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny. She got married.
Yeah.
But her mama and step papa didn't.
Well, I guess as well they've been married before,
Mm.
so I think that's probably what put them off marriage, because she's thinking, actually, I don't need to. It's messy. She said that it's ugly, and it affects children
Well,
and everything.
let's look at
So
let's have
let's
a
have a
look at the
look.
story. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look-sees at the story and see where we at. All right, so see if I can read it. Goldie Hawn battles off reasons. It's like again. Goldie Hawn. It'll be difficult again because I've got to go on large.
Oh no.
Goldie Hawn rattles off reasons for
You don't see
take
it.
3.
You don't see it, T. You don't see it.
Goldie Hawn rattles off
Oh,
reasons
sorry.
she doesn't want to marry her partner of 40 years, Kurt Russell.
Doesn't want
Oh,
to.
it's not because he snores.
Oh.
The Oscar winner addressed the decades-old question about getting married with a flurry of reasons not to. Here we go. Goldie Hawn loves Kurt Russell, her partner of 40 years, but has no intention rather, of marrying him. Oh, come a bit close, can't be cut off.
Oh.
No intention of marrying him. The long-time couple have proven to be one of the most enduring couples in Hollywood, with or without a formal union. Although Goldie has fielded questions about not being married to Russell before, she was far more direct after once again being asked last week, i.e. she's a bit peed off being asked again. Why should we be? She told CNN's Chris Wallace. Isn't that a better question? Goldie and Kurt met while filming Swing Shift in 1983, so long ago, and welcomed their son Wyatt 3 years later. Both had prior children with their ex-spouses, but famously blended the families for the health of all involved. As for marrying again, she decried the idea. It goes on to say about how she was married from 1969 to 1979 to musician Bill Hudson. Musician Bill Hudson, yes. No, sorry, it's cut off. There's another dude she was married to from 1969 to 1976, I believe. Then she married Bill Hudson from the late 70s to 82. Then Goldie and Bill Hudson, that's Kate Hudson's father, share 2 adult children, one of course being Kate and one being Oliver. And Russell had son Boston with his ex-wife Susan Hubley. Somebody actually has to look and say, how many divorces actually are fun? How many divorces actually don't cost money? And we looked at the J-Lo and Ben Affleck one last week. How many divorces actually make you hate the person more than you did before? Goldie told the CNN host. Well, she said.
Wow.
Her partnership is not about the marriage, but about the will to stay together. They will to stay together. She said the joy and excitement of being together and touching the toes of somebody at night is priceless.
Like,
Wherever floats your boat, Goldie, and certainly not guaranteed by a ring. So, yeah. When Chris Wallace said, well, how do you know we wouldn't get divorced? He said, I think you guys would never get divorced. She says, how do you know? So that's pretty much her saying why.
Wow.
She want to know. What do you think?
It doesn't look like she's... they're more or less married in a way, that, in a sense now, though, aren't they? Because they've been together for so long. But because obviously she's had 2 failed marriages already, she's like, well, what's the point then?
Yeah.
And it's that we know that by reading like facts that people who are together for a long time, then they get married, it sometimes can, not all the time, sometimes ends in divorce.
Do you think, here's a question.
Yeah, go on.
Do you think that she would feel the same way if she hadn't have been married twice before? Do you think the fact that she'd been married those couple of times before has marred her ability to see the positivity of getting married? And maybe if she hadn't had those marriages, her and Kurt would have been married?
I think so. I think the 2 failed marriages has definitely marred her perspective, her views on marriage. And she said it's ugly. It's messy. Look at Ben Affleck and J-Lo. They've got £600 million.
Well, they're not divorced. Just
Not
a disclaimer,
divorced, but that's at stake there.
yeah.
So for her, she's thinking, I don't want to go through this, and why go through that when I'm already happy already? Because I've read articles in the past, what she said. She's spoken up before,
Yeah.
a few years ago, and she's like, I don't need to. We're fine as we are. I think she'd said in that article, that other article.
Good as is.
And why do we need a bit of paper? That sort of thing. So why change it?
See, that
So I
annoys
think,
me
yeah,
when, you know,
the bit of paper.
it annoys me, the bit of paper thing.
Yeah, I mean.
Because, I mean, the reality is that a lot of things are a bit of paper. Technically,
Yeah.
oh, just adjust my chair again.
Yeah, you're smaller than me now.
I'm thinking.
You're short.
Yeah. Technically, money is just a bit of paper.
Yeah.
But people are murdered and people go to war over
Yeah.
it. So the idea that something's just a bit of paper, yet paper has no value when we know that's not true. That if you saw a case full of money, you on the street, you wouldn't go, oh, it's just paper.
Absolutely.
Walking by.
It is. I mean, from my perspective, what you just spoken about, the bit of paper, I've heard a few people say that, and it's really annoying. When I've thought that over, I thought, it's it's more than a bit of paper, because it's not, you're focusing on the legal side, but it's like partnership. You bring children into a marriage, a stable relationship that you can grow together and have a vision together. When you think a bit more deeper than the bit of paper, you would change your whole mindset about it.
I think so.
I think our mindset is a bit more traditional. So we're a lot more, we're traditional in the way that our mindset is. So we're not thinking about, oh yeah, it's just a bit of paper. And you know what I mean? It's not really about that. Obviously sign the paper, your name obviously I had a different name, got a new name, surname, but it's more than that. And I think when people surpass the bit of paper, oh it's expensive, I can't afford it. Do you know what I'm saying? You will take your mind off, oh, it's just a bit of paper. Because that's actually an insult.
It's also just not true, because, you know, the fact that something is paper doesn't make it, like, in any other scenario, like I've mentioned, with actual, like, money, for example, nobody says, oh, it's a bit of paper, just like, dash it on the floor. It's like, no, people think of paper and they're thinking this is a serious, valuable thing.
Yeah. And in society, marriage is actually seen as, when I've done my research on marriage, marriage is actually seen as something very, highly looked at. When I've told people that I work with, I've been married for 19 years. A lot of people, everyone that I've told, they're like, wow, now, 19 years.
Sorry to cut you, but I think we have to do a video about this whole 19 years thing.
Yeah.
Listen, we know people that have been married far longer than us.
Yeah.
Like double and three times married than us. So
Goldie Hawn, because Goldie Hawn's been married before, I think it's definitely made her have a bit more of a negative view of marriage. And because I think because she's scared of it ending in divorce again. I mean, she's been married twice before.
But you see, that's where I think it's an illusion, and I have a problem, because I understand why she wouldn't want to be married for the third time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, you know, it's
That's
a magic number, but maybe not for marriages. I understand why she wouldn't want to get married again. I'm a pragmatist. As much as I'm an idealist, I can also have a pragmatic side. Divorces are expensive in Hollywood, and she probably thinks she doesn't want to jinx it. Yeah, so there's an element of not wanting to rock a good thing.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the principles I had, and I had the Christian faith, and I believed in the importance of marriage, especially for all the expressions that come with it as a package, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, screw marriage. You know, we're living together. You're feeling me. I'm feeling you. 4 decades. We know many people that have been married and divorced within the first 10 years or so.
Yeah, because it's only because of my faith, our faith, why we decided to get married in the first place.
Yeah,
and because the morals that we have, we didn't live together and have kids. We married very young. We think we did the thing we wanted to do, did it in the right way we think is right, but each of their own.
And as much as we love each other, we love God more. So it's kind of like, if we don't get, it's almost like the parent coming and bashing the kids' heads together, like, come on, you two, pack it in, shake hands and make up. Yeah. That's like God with us. Like, the times we've been like, let's throw in the towel. And it's been like, well, actually, you need to get over this bump and over this hurdle. And I think I don't judge Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I understand their situation. I understand their reasoning. And I actually commend them for being together 40 years. That's an incredible amount of time.
It's a long time.
That's like the lion's share of our lifespan. So I respect it. I respect them. But in my mind, they are married, really.
Yeah.
And they're as good as married. So to me, if the piece of paper is the obstacle, it's almost like you're scared of a piece of paper. You're scared of the legal ramifications of being together. Like, if the same person, it's a bit like the Michael J. I was going to say Marty McFly. It's a bit like the Michael J. Fox scenario, and Tracy Pollan. If his wife knew he would develop Parkinson's disease, would she have married him? Now, that's not a judgment, and I'm not saying she wouldn't. That's a question. We'll never know. If she could go in a time machine, she could go in the DeLorean. Hey, Doc. So we go to 1988 when we got married. If she could see or tell her past self that this is how the relationship's going to shake out, would she still get married? And if the answer is yes, then that means their love is solid, and she was willing to she meant what they said when they said in sickness and health and death do us part. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is that with the Goldie Hawn situation, Kurt Russell, she's saying that when the CNN host said, well, I think you guys would, if you got married, I think you would stay together, and because you've been together 4 decades so far. She says, you don't know that. So in the back of her mind, it's like that little thing of, oh, if we get married, we'll jinx it. If we get married, then maybe it will change things. Maybe Kurt will turn into a monster, or Goldie will turn into a monster. And to me, that makes me question how really secure their love is. Because if their love is so secure that they don't need to be married, it also flips the other way around, where is it that secure if she thinks that piece of paper and the money would get in the way? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think sorry. Yeah, I think she's scared of being married again, because what you said earlier, like how she responded to the CNN presenter,
Interviewer.
Yeah, interviewer. And it's obviously obvious that she's scared of being married again, because she's been divorced twice. She's like, oh, I'm scared. But it's more than just a piece of paper. How do you know it? Also, it's a different person. Kurt Russell isn't her previous husband.
2 husbands. Yeah.
So why would you be scared that why would you scared of getting
Hollywood.
married again?
And most marriages
it's Hollywood,
end in
but
divorce
it's Hollywood.
expensive
Yeah, it's Hollywood, but sometimes you just got to take that
messes.
risk. Sometimes you just got to take the risk, innit?
Mm.
It's a sticky one, because she has been married before. Not just before, but she's been married
Twice.
a couple of times.
2 times.
2 times. But to say that she won't marry, and that's just...
So if she had never married before and she said this, I would have a big problem. I would be saying, Goldie, like, not being funny, but you're having a laugh. Like, you don't know. But because she was married twice before we were even born, I kind of have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she knows what she's talking about, even if fundamentally we still push back and disagree, because she's technically, without the legality, the legal binding, and the legal kind of, all the contractual stuff, she's essentially been married for 4 decades. 4 years. Yeah, last marriages for 40 years. Far longer than the previous 2.
And I guess
maybe she's just with the wrong guys.
I guess as well, if she... Yeah, exactly. There's that as well. Maybe she was with the wrong person. But also as well, I guess it's that thing where if her and Kurt Russell was to break up, then she can just just walk
You ain't
away.
getting my money.
And you ain't got nothing. There's no papers. There's no prenup. Nothing. So there's none of that mess. It's not going to affect the kids. Obviously, our kids are grown anyway, so it's not going to affect them.
No 600 million divorce deal disaster. No prenup needed.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're not married, are they? And they don't legal, because when people are not married, I've read a lot of marriage. People who are not married.
Yeah.
Is it called? Prohibit. No,
Prohibited.
Cohabiting. Sorry, cohabit. That's so bad. When people cohabit, they don't have any rights to people's money.
No.
Like if the partner dies, they have nothing.
No.
I think actually they can claim money from them, but they have to go through the courts or something like that. Yeah, they have to, because they're not legally bound.
Yeah.
They're not married. So there's a lot of rights also that people, when people cohabit, they don't have any rights to.
So no gold band on Goldie's finger. No Goldie finger. See what I did there? Always a movie reference. Goldie finger. Goldie no finger. Goldie no finger. Kurt Russell's James Bond.
What?
Named back in the day. Good looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's not English.
Actually, it would be.
Not English. Wouldn't work.
Well, you can put an English accent on.
No, well, it happened once, George Lazenby.
But he's a different person, though.
I was backing you. I was saying George Lazenby, he was Australian or something, New Zealand, so that worked. But, yeah. So, unfortunately, we won't be wearing a hat for Goldie and Kurt's wedding anytime soon.
No. And that is the story of so many people, because I do speak to other people.
Yeah.
About everyday life. Yeah, they're actually not interested in getting married. Yeah, I've seen a few people. They just obviously live with their partner, but they have no interest in getting married at all.
Well, so
because they feel like they're married already.
So why did you want to get married, Jay?
Why?
We'll do a video another time in a bit more detail on this, but just for to quote a Tyler Perry movie, why did you get married?
Why did I get married?
Yeah, why did you?
I actually don't know. I don't know why I got married. Why did you get married?
Not that you were smitten, swept off your foot by this handsome chocolate man. It's irresistible to the taste and feel. But it feels like a bit like American Pie. I'm a sophisticated robot sent back through the portals of time to change one lucky lady's future. Toniator. I'll be back.
So is that a serious question then? Is that a serious question you're asking me then? Why I don't want to get married?
Well, ish.
Yeah. I think I wanted to get married since I thought of marriage since I was 19 years old.
It's very young.
And that is pretty young, right? Most 19-year-olds are like, but I wasn't your normal 19-year-old. I wasn't even that mature either. And I was thinking of like one of the most adult and grown-up things you could ever do.
Yeah. You could hardly.
But I think for me, I was exposed to a few married people. So I saw marriage demonstrated in front of me. So that's all I kind of saw. That was my role model. So I wanted that as well. You
wanted the happy ending, the birds chirping and the picket fences. That's what you wanted. And you got me.
I know. I got
and
you.
serves you right.
You're good when you are.
Oh, consolation prize.
Oh, why did you want to get married?
Because I'm not Darius Jackson.
Oh, no.
I put a ring on your finger. As I'm thinking into the floor. I've really got to fix this chair.
Oh, no. So why did you want to get married then?
Well, I want to get married. Well, I'm saving that to another video.
Oh, okay.
Tyler Perry. So I did want to get married. So we got married. And may we last as long, if not longer, as Goldie and Kurt. Salut. Congratulations.
My cop here. Yep.
Goldie and congratulations.
Right.
There you go.
Oh.
Congratulations,
one
Goldie
has a
and Kurt,
one has a cop.
in your non-marriage.
Oh, no.
But hey, you're together. That's what counts.
Oh, your non-marriage.
Non-marriage. Your non-anniversary. Happy non-anniversary. 40 non-marriage years. Right, we've been together.
Non-marriage years.
Non-marriage years. So, have we got time for the debate? We might have to get the scissors out, but I think we should have this debate.
I think so.
Because I think it's a really interesting subject. What's happened is we were reading this article earlier in the Mirror. A guy had stepped out. In fact, let me do it this way. I'll make it easier. This is live, folks, so sometimes these things happen. So I'm going to actually go. The Daily Mirror The headline, I got DNA test for fun, but destroyed my parents' 33-year marriage in seconds.
Oh.
Ouch! A man has taken to
Wow.
social media to share how his parents' marriage came crashing down as soon as his DNA results came through, admitting he now doesn't know how to handle the situation. A man has been left heartbroken after destroying his parents' 33-year marriage with a discounted DNA testing kit. He ordered 2 DNA kits, one for him and the other for his dad, because the website was selling them off at almost half the price. So,
Whoa.
yeah, but costly at the end of the day, really, wasn't it? Having always been interested in genealogy, the son was excited to learn about his ancestry composition and compare it with his friends who have taken similar tests. He said, I ordered myself and my dad a kit when they were on sale, and we received our results a couple of days ago. My mother has never been really interested in genealogy or DNA stuff, so I didn't tell her about it. The first thing my dad and I did was compare our ancestry composition, and I noticed it was a bit off, to say the least. He is highly British and Irish, with a small bit of French and German. I am mostly Scandinavian, with over a quarter French and German and some Italian. Not looking good. Confused, the father-son duo checked their DNA relatives and came to the realization that they're not biologically related. He didn't pop up on mine, and I didn't pop up on his, he added.
Ouch.
There was a half-sibling and father match, however. I began freaking out, and my dad got so angry. My mum came home, and he confronted her about it. She lost it and admitted she knew I was some other man's child all along, and would have tried to stop us had she known we got the tests. They are now divorcing, which sucks. You think?
Oh, wow.
He's now wondering if my 2 youngest siblings are his or not. So crazy, man. It goes on that I think that's the meat of the meat and potatoes of the
That
story.
was serious, that one.
So, what do you think about that, Mrs.?
Wow. That is pretty deep stuff, isn't it?
You think?
Wow. That's like, I'm thinking, what? Oh, gosh. I think I can understand why she wouldn't say anything,
Mm-hmm.
because she knew that it would end their marriage.
Yeah.
You know, she knew 33 years, right? That's a long time.
33 years.
And it's now destroyed.
Yeah.
But it's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe she was just scared. And obviously, if the dad, he's been like the dad for all these years to
Yeah.
her son, she didn't want that to be ruined.
Mm-hmm.
He brought her up. He brought the son up as his own.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thinking it's going all well, and that's fine. She wouldn't ever thought that they're gonna be like some DNA test or something like that. So for her, it's like, well, he's like the father anyway.
So
But obviously she's hiding. She obviously knew. She probably knew deep down, obviously, that wasn't his father. But then she thought, oh, let's just leave it. So I can understand it from her perspective, that she's probably scared that if it was to come out. But then it obviously has come out now. Has come out now only because obviously DNA.
So let's just be clear. Make it very clear. Do you really believe this line of argument, or are you just playing advocate?
I'm playing advocate for her. I'm trying to understand it from her perspective of how a woman would feel.
Because we have 3 kids.
Yes, I know.
And
they all look like you.
Yeah.
And they're definitely your kids. Yeah.
Suddenly I play our DNA.
But they don't look like me, but they're my kids. They came out of me.
Yeah. I can verify, babes. I was there.
I know.
They're yours.
I know. I'm saying it for the people.
I was live at the scene. The Sky News. I think it's disgusting.
You think it's disgusting?
Yeah, it's like Maury. I mean, the amount of times I've seen the Maury, you are not the child's father. I can't imagine anything worse than spending decades raising a child that you 100% believed was yours. You loved that child, you reared them, you saw yourself in them, you had every reason to believe that that was your child. And to find out by accident, though I do think that this is sometimes these things are waiting to be found out. It's like something in the atmosphere, and the spirit realm is pushing the truth, always ebbing and flowing towards the truth. You suddenly find out that in this case, your son is not yours. And it's not like your wife maybe thought it's 50-50 or kind of, she didn't know, like maybe she was with two guys and she just didn't know it was not yours. She said she knew all along. So she's been playing, she's been deceiving both of them. That poor kid, the son, having his whole half of his ancestry thrown up in the air in confusion. And that poor husband who, I mean, I don't care. It's like, I can think of like, Friends, Ross and Rachel. We were on a break. Like, I don't care what the situation. If you knew that that wasn't his child, you should have told him.
Yeah, but
Give him
what
the
if?
chance.
Well, but what if the person that was really the biological father wasn't a good person then? What if he was the one that she was with, the man she was married with, was a better man? So that's when she's thinking, oh, I'm not going to say anything.
He might have been a better man, but she wasn't a good woman.
Why wasn't she?
That sounds harsh. Because she's lied and she's tried to pass somebody else's child off as his. To me, that's wicked. And it might sound harsh, but
that's
I
harsh.
don't care. It's our
That's
show.
really harsh.
It's wicked.
That's really
It's
harsh.
wicked.
Why is it really
Like, what
wicked?
gives you the right to do
Yeah,
that?
maybe
It's
she was.
wicked.
Maybe she was scared. She was scared to like come out and just say, actually, I've got something to tell you.
Scared of the
After
truth.
all these years.
No, but that's the point, Jay. Why did she? I'm talking about she should have said from the beginning that, you know what, there's a chance this child ain't yours.
Yeah, but
Do you want to stay with me and we'll raise this kid together?
yeah, but what if she was scared that he was gonna not want to stay with her then? If she said that at the beginning, they might not have been together now. They wouldn't have been.
They're not together now.
Yeah, but they're not together now. But she prolonged it by not saying it, obviously.
Which makes it worse because she's just kind of, creating a situation where, she's. The inevitability is, it was probably very inevitable that they weren't going to go the distance because of this factor that I don't know if they were on a break or she cheated on him, but he may not have wanted to raise another man's child. They're just the facts. That may have been the case.
She's probably thinking that she is in a stable relationship now. There's no way she can just sit down and tell him because it's gone too far, isn't it? The marriage over the years is doing really well. He's been a good father to the son. And then it's a stable family setup, isn't it? She's comfortable. The more the time goes on, it gets harder to tell the person, doesn't it?
That's devious, man. That's devious.
I mean,
you better watch out, men.
I think
before you get catch.
I think with the man,
in a trap.
I think with the man, he could have maybe given her a chance.
What do you mean, John?
Like, obviously, they divorce, but
you don't really. You're struggling to be advocate here. I can tell.
No, I'm not struggling, but I'm trying. No, I'm
truly-
trying to see it from her point of view. To think maybe he should have just given her a chance because he's brought up the son from he was a baby.
Yeah.
Or is it a baby?
Yeah, for baby. Yeah.
So why would he just end the marriage because of that one thing?
Because of that small thing, such as
but he should have just
his wife lying about who the father of that child is. You know, a big thing that is.
I know that, but I'm just saying he's obviously still going to have. I'm sure going to have a relationship with the son, though, because all these years he's been like a father to him anyway.
Hopefully,
because how can you just be like, oh yeah, divorce your mom, but I'm not going to have nothing to do with you anymore?
I don't know. There's no scenario where I believe this is acceptable. I'm
only trying to see it from the perspective, her point of view as an advocate.
Yeah,
that's all.
So you're saying, repeat what you're saying, so make it clear what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm saying he should have maybe given her a chance, like being forgiven. Obviously, it would take time. You're looking at me like, what? I reckon he should
Okay.
have.
Me no understand your English. Now go on, continue.
Look at his beak. He should have made. No, on a serious note, I think he should have given her. He should have given her a second chance because to think things through, but to have a full-blown divorce because of her mistake, he could have at least just given her a chance because now she's a single mom, isn't it?
Yeah, I think.
But
I think.
but maybe she was scared as well. Maybe she was able to just have the strength to even tell him.
Yeah,
because she was just like, maybe she told other people, but they were like, oh, maybe not say anything because it will spoil things.
yeah. So I know this is the debate.
Yeah.
This is what this show. This is what the segment is the debate.
Yeah.
We forgot to put the ding ding in the beginning, but this is the debate. But we should have picked a one that was a little bit more nuanced, if I'm honest, because I can't see a scenario in this story where it can be grey. You know what I mean? For me, it feels very black and white. You don't deceive a partner believing, I say a man because you can't deceive a woman. She was either there or not. You can't deceive a guy making him believe that a child is his when you know perfectly it's not. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
It's happened numerous times. I mean, otherwise there wouldn't be a Jerry Springer or Maori shows, or Jeremy Kyle. R.I.P. Jeremy Kyle show.
Shut your mouth.
That wouldn't have existed because it was a staple of these type of shows was paternity test. So I don't know. Any closing arguments for?
I would say that again. It's a really sad situation, but her marriage is now ended because obviously she hid that from her husband for those years, making him think that he was the father of the son.
Yeah.
But I feel it for her as well because she probably wasn't at a stage where
she could tell the truth.
She could tell the truth
and not lie through her teeth.
Yeah, because she probably was going through something. Maybe she's a young mum as well, isn't it? I mean, she wasn't just clued up to be able to sit down with him at the early stages when he was a baby. Oh, by the way, this child isn't yours.
Yeah.
And as I said before, maybe it's to do with the person that she knows was the father. Was it a good one? Maybe he was a bad boy or something.
Women will do that sometimes. Some women will do
and
that.
maybe she just wanted because this is a good guy. Woman's got a good man.
Yeah.
She's going to want to stick by, she's going to want, especially to father a child, she's going to want a good man to be the father of her child.
But why, yeah, I hear you. But I'm like, why
what?
Why do birds suddenly appear? Why just not come clean and say, yeah, this is what I want, but I need to do the right thing. It's okay for her to want the better man to raise her child. It's okay for her to want the happy ever after. No one would deny her the desire to live that way, to have that life, to have good things in her life. Because that's just, you wish that for anybody, right? Yeah. But this was always going to come out, I believe.
Do you think?
Yeah, I just think even though, we've come a long way in DNA, so it's like, it's not that, I just have a feeling with these things that at some point something was going to come out. And
do you think
now the son, he's lost his dad, who he thought was his father. Because even though the dad will hopefully still be in his life,
yeah, I hope so.
He knows that's not his DNA. That's not where he comes from. That's not he doesn't come from that dude's loins. It's one thing to be adopted, like I was adopted. So it's one thing to have always known that's not your biological parents, but they've treated you like their child. That's one thing. Another to have your whole reality shattered in a moment. And I blame the mother. I think it's wicked.
Do you think then? Okay.
Sorry.
Do you think you keep saying that it's wicked? It's wicked.
Wicked, yeah.
Okay. Do you think if she had then told the husband early on when the child was born, maybe that was the case, that he wasn't the father, do you think they would have divorced then?
Who knows?
If they was married by then,
should have had the chance. That's what I'm saying. Should have had the chance.
But do you think they would? It would have just broken up then, if she told him early on.
And it's broken up now. So the only thing, that's where it goes round in circles. So the only thing is that it's for selfish reasons, because it may be she didn't want to be a single mum. She didn't want to end up raising a child by herself. So if she told him the truth, he'd say, well, go to the other dude, let him.
Yeah, but maybe he was a good guy. Maybe he was someone.
I know, but that's my point.
Yeah.
Whatever her reasons, you have to admit, I know you're playing advocate, but you have to admit that they were selfish reasons. Either she didn't want to, she loved the guy so much, she didn't want to be without him. She's pregnant and she doesn't want to be without a partner. She didn't want a single mum. And she didn't want, or maybe she cheated and she didn't want it to come out that she was indiscreet. Either way, it's selfish motivation. I don't believe she was doing it to protect him, because no man wants to live out all his life thinking he sired a child that wasn't his. You know?
It's sad though.
Yeah, it's sad. But anyway,
it's sad.
That's the story. It's a sad one.
Well, we don't agree on that one.
We don't agree with that. Well,
well, I'm advocate for that woman because I like supporting women.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see it from her perspective.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put myself in her in that shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? To think how she would feel. Maybe she was a young mum as well, starting out.
Yeah. But for the record, I know I've said it's wicked. I'm not saying she. All right, I'll take it back. I can't judge her and say she's wicked, but I will say what she did was wicked, and I don't take that back. No takey backsies. I'm sticking to that. But let's just say we both, from a spiritual perspective, think it's very sad.
Yeah.
And we would pray for that family, that somehow it can be restored, those relationships, though doubtful, and that, because that's the thing, the very foundation of the relationship for all those years is a lie. But we wish the individual players, the members of that family well, and we would say as our advice, don't do it. If you find yourself in a scenario where if you're a woman and you're pregnant, you're not sure which is the father, please don't lie to one of the dudes so he thinks that that's his child and it's not. That's just not right. It's not fair to the man. This is me to my Jerry Springer Maori moment. It's not fair to the man, and it's not fair to the child. You know, we've known the pain of questions over our parentage or not knowing some parent maybe in childhood and stuff like that. So we can vouch that it's not fun. It's not fun to have those question marks. It's not fun to then have the rug pulled out of your shoulder when you think somebody is your mum and dad and they're actually not. Just saying, don't feel good. Don't do it. End of.
Oh.
I won.
I think you got the closing point there.
I get the crown.
I think I've said what I said, isn't it? As an advocate.
Rule the world.
You're the king. King of T&J.
The queen. She's your queen to be. The art of perfection. From every direction. I know the words.
Nice singing.
Thank you. My queen to be.
Hey.
I'm the king. But I'm the king. I'm the king, fool.
Why didn't you get me one?
Shut up, fool.
She got me the queen.
Sorry, Mr. T took over. I said, shut up, fool, but I don't call me a fool. I pity the fool. I don't tell him shut up. It's Mr. T. It wasn't me, it was Clubber Lang. I was channeling Clubber Lang. Shut up, fool. Shut up, Balboa. So, on that note, if you've enjoyed the show today, we want to hear from your opinions. We want to know what you think. We want to know your questions. We want to know your opinions based on this episode.
Yeah, there's so much to think about. We've spoken so much about several topics today, from the Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell celebrating 40 years and her saying she's not interested in being married. No.
Don't want to put a ring on it.
Not at
Goldie
all.
don't want to put a ring on it. Goldie Hawn don't want to put a ring on it. Oh.
So much for watching, and if you can comment, like, and subscribe, because we would love to hear your comments. We're also available on Spotify, Stitcher, and so many more platforms just for our podcast. If you want to see our beautiful faces, watch our YouTube. But if you just want to listen while you're at the gym or you're washing the dishes, you can then listen to us on the audio platforms.
Hey, so you got no excuses.
Yeah.
You can see us, hear us, almost reach through the screen and grab us. We have been T and J.
Take over the world.
One episode at a time. We've just watched one. For all things relationship, culture, and chat, you know where it's at. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Check us out. You have been traveling T&J Airways. I hope you've enjoyed the flight. Bye-bye.
Bye.